the speech that I delivered in 2002 wasn't just me getting up and yelling, "I'm against the war." It was a very clear, specific outline of what I anticipated would happen if we went into war and why we shouldn't do it. And it stands up pretty well. I could give that speech today, and it would look like I was simply reporting on what had happened over the last 5 years. That was based on good judgment. And that, I think, is the ultimate measure of whether or not somebody can do a good job in this difficult task.
Can you talk about how you came to that judgment? What's your process in terms of what information you looked at and who you talked with, and how much of it was just
luck
yourself? How much of it was luck?
No, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, well, first of all, I didn't have access to any special information beyond the information that was publicly available. The colleagues of mine who are involved in foreign policy, when I was at the University of Chicago, for example, and I was still teaching at the time, were friends of mine who were involved in foreign policy in Washington, just having conversations with them. A lot of it, though, has to do with the fact that I lived overseas for a number of years, and in that sense am, I think, able to, well, let me give you a specific example. I was never persuaded that we could create a Jeffersonian democracy in Iraq. And that was based on specific experiences of living in Indonesia or knowing my family in Kenya and understanding how powerful tribal and ethnic sentiments are when it comes to many of these countries. And that in a power vacuum, you were going to see a lot of organizing around ethnic and tribal lines in ways that could be very dangerous. So it's that kind of broad-based experience that I think helped me to arrive at the decision. It wasn't that I saw, one particular memo and concluded, this doesn't make sense. Some of it probably was also my lawyer's training. I mean, I watched pretty carefully the presentation made by Colin Powell at the United Nations. And as a lawyer, you're trained to poke holes in somebody's case. And I thought to myself, well, this has got to be the strongest case that they were bringing to bear everything that they had. And it didn't look particularly strong to me. And so what that told me was that Saddam Hussein no doubt coveted weapons of mass destruction, but I was entirely unpersuaded that he had in his possession anything that would be an imminent harm to us. And the difficulties of an occupation there, I thought, would be profoundly destabilizing and a big distraction from what we needed to focus on, which was finishing the job in Afghanistan.